So fantastic. All right, we got the recorder going, and again, thank you everybody for participating on the call today. I don't know if everyone had a chance to be on the national call today, but man, a lot of great information on the national call. I'll just kind of go over some of the highlights. The one thing I wanted to point out, and really just say congratulations to Tom Lemon again for being at the top of the leaderboard. He was in the top 8 of the Sweet 16. Tom had, last week, he had submitted 9 applications for $7,249. And again, that's in a week. Guys, it's, tremendous job to Tom Lemon, and what a great effort to be able to put those kind of numbers up, a week, 2 weeks before Christmas. Also, just some side notes. Next week, which is the day after Christmas, we will not be having a call. And also on January the 2nd, which is the Friday after that, which is the day after New Year's, we won't have a call on those 2 days. So our next call, our next agency call is scheduled for January the 9th. And that's the time where I'm going to try to get Brian McCann on the phone. You guys will be very, very impressed, and you definitely want to make that call for sure. So what we're going to be talking about is handling objections. And before I get into like how to handle objections, I think the important thing to understand is that I feel is that handling an objection, any objection, whether it's on the phone, at the door, or in person, it has more to do with my attitude, my mindset, and my posture than anything else. The one thing that's important for me is that I always want to be focused on doing the right thing. Okay? When I'm in front of a client, I want to be focused on doing the right thing, which ultimately is I want to find out why that client sent in that lead card in the first place. And what I have found is that a lot of times when an agent is not picking up a check, or they're not getting applications, it's because they haven't dug deep enough. They haven't dug deep enough to find out what their pain is. Okay? Buying final expense is a very emotional sale. So it's important that we dig deep to find out what the pain button is, or in other words, maybe what their hot button is. Who is it that this client is trying to protect? The reason why these clients send back the lead card in the first place is because simply they want to make sure that when they die, there's enough money to take care of their final expenses. They don't want to leave that financial burden to their family. So as an agent, it's our job to find out who is it that they're trying to protect. Is it their children? And really get it down on the emotional level. And I think if we concentrate on making the sale an emotional sale versus a logical sale, our closing ratio is going to go up. And what I have found, quite frankly, I see a lot of agents struggle when I feel like they probably have a low belief in what they're doing, or they have no conviction in what they're doing. Guys, if you want to be a strong closer, you got to believe in what we're doing for the consumer. You have to believe in the product. You have to believe that you're doing the right thing. And when you believe that you're doing the right thing, and you have a conviction to go out and help these people, I'm just telling you, closing deals, it really becomes easy. It's like you're not even closing. People can pick up on that posture, and they can pick up on your attitude. People can tell when you care. So, you want to be a better closer? Get passionate about what we're doing. Get passionate about protecting the lives of your clients. And over overcoming objections will be very, very easy. And if you can take that, if you can take this level of passion, which I'm very passionate about what it is we do for the consumer, you take that passion and that conviction and you combine that with a strong work ethic, and I'm just telling you, you will be unstoppable. Okay? So let's move on into the objections here. The first thing I want to cover is the phone objections. Oh, also real quick as a side note, everybody that I sent the invitation to be on this call today, I also included, there were 2 attachments there that covered a lot of the objections at the door and also in the home. And guys, these objections, or how to overcome the objections, were scripted out by Brian McCann and some of the other top producers in the country. So they are very, very effective. These are rebuttals that I currently use. I'm also going to give you a few other ones as well. When it comes to handling the phone, I know we talk about door knocking a lot. And I'm just going to say this again, is that I'm a huge component in door knocking. If there was only one way for me to contact a client, it would definitely be face-to-face door knocking. But at the same time, I realize is that we all need to be on the phones as well. It's important to try to get in contact with your clients using every means possible. Okay? So you're not going to get a hold of every client door knocking. You're not going to get a hold of every client using the phone. That's why you have to do a combination of both. But if you can fine-tune your skills on the phone, you will find the phone to be a very, very useful tool. Here's some things that I learned about using the phone. Number 1 is that you don't want to sound like a telemarketer. Okay? Also, using your tonality on the phone, you want to make sure when you're talking to clients, you want to speak low. You want to have low tonality, and you want to speak slow. Okay? You don't want to be talking really, really fast. You don't want to be overly excited. Like they just won, $1 million. But you don't want to feel like you don't want to have, you don't want to sound like you're in a bad mood either. You just want to be very, even-keeled, low and slow, very business-like, very as a matter of factly. I kind of compare it to like, a furnace and heating guy. If a client called in and said, "Hey, my furnace is broken," and you were the technician and you were calling, what would your tonality be like? It's very much like that, kind of like a service call. And the purpose of making a phone call is strictly to set the appointment. We're not trying to sell insurance over the phone. Okay? So here are the top objections that I have heard on the phone. Number 1, and I'll list them out and then we'll kind of hit each one. And then also, too, keep in mind, you can work with me individually. I've mentioned this before, my services are available. One thing that I pride myself on is that I try to make myself available for one-on-one coaching and mentoring. And this is really where I can really work with you personally, one-on-one, on how to fine-tune your phone skills, your door knocking skills, and your in-home presentation skills. So please take advantage of my offer of the personal coaching and mentoring. So here are the top objections that we get on the phone. Number 1 would be, "I'm not interested." Also, we hear, "Well, I already have life insurance." Another one is, "Can you call me back?" "Can you mail me something?" "Can you give me a quote," or "Can you give me a rate over the phone?" "I don't remember filling the card out," or "I didn't send anything back, and I already took care of this I already have life insurance. I already met with an agent. Okay, so let's first start with the first one, which is when the client says, "Hey, I'm not interested." Typically, when a client says they're not interested, number one, it's because you sound like a telemarketer, or they don't know why you're calling. Okay, they didn't remember sending in the card. So I think a lot has to do with the approach on the phone. And my phone script is available on the training website. So, my recommendation would be, listen to that phone script, and, the way I call the client, and maybe what I can do is I can just role play. I can just do my phone script. So, what I'll do is I'll just do, the phone will ring, they'll answer. If it's, for example, let's say I've got a lead and it's a man. Let's say Bill had filled out the card. If a male answers the phone, I'm going to go ahead and assume that that's Bill. So it's going to ring. It goes ring, ring, ring. I'm going to say, "Hello, Bill." He's going to say yes. Bill, this is Joe Johnson with Senior Benefits for Lake County, Indiana. How are you doing? He's going to say, "I'm doing fine." Well, listen, Bill, I just want to let you know this is not a sales call. I'm not I'm not a solicitor. The reason why I'm calling you is that we had recently mailed you out a letter about the new state-regulated programs to cover filing expenses for citizens in Indiana, and you had taken the time, you had filled out the card and mailed it back to me. In fact, I've got it here with all your personal information. Bill, does that sound familiar? So I'm going to find out if he says, yes, it sounds familiar. Typically, they will. And then from there, I'm just going to book the appointment. Well, great, Bill. Like I said, the reason for the call, I'm the representative. I'm the state licensed field underwriter that's been assigned to go over the programs with you, answer all your questions, and find out what you may be eligible for. Typically only takes me about 10 or 15 minutes to review the programs with you. In fact, my company has me scheduled out in your area Thursday and Friday. Typically, what time of day works best for you, Bill? Mornings, afternoons, or evenings? I'm going to go right in. That's exactly how I book an appointment. I don't necessarily use the same script every single time, but it's something very, very similar. I like kind of going with the flow. And one thing about phone scripts, guys, there's a million phone scripts out there by a million different top agents. I really don't think it's the phone script. It's not the words. It's not necessarily what you say that books the appointment. It's how you say it. And it's your intentions and it's your tonality. So if I have a client that comes back and says, "Hey, I'm not interested," Bill, time out just for a second. Before you hang up, I can appreciate you say you're not interested. I'm actually getting back in touch with you. You had mailed a card to me. Did you say you weren't interested because you think I'm a telemarketer? Do you think I'm trying to sell you something over the phone? Bill, that's not the case. I'm simply trying to get you the information that you requested. Let me just verify some information that you had given us, and then I'll verify their address. Bill, it says here you were born January 17th, 1949. Is that correct? He's going to say, yes, that's correct. Great. Bill, my job is to provide you with the information that you requested. My company has me scheduled out there Thursday or Friday. I'm gonna go right back into it and book the appointment. Generally speaking, that will overcome the objection that I'm not interested. The second objection that I listed was, well, I already have life insurance. Okay? Well, guys, here's the funny thing, is that they had life insurance when they sent the card in. Okay, so that's really kind of a BS objection. So a couple of different angles that you can hit this. The one that I like to use is when they say, hey, I already have life insurance. Yeah, John, I can appreciate the fact that you already have life insurance. In fact, most of the clients that enroll into this program already have plenty of life insurance. John, my job is just to provide you the information that you had requested. We take this very, very seriously. In fact, my company has me scheduled to get you this information that you requested. I'm scheduled in your area Thursday and Friday. It should only take me about 10 to 15 minutes to review the programs for you. I'll answer all your questions to get out of your hair. Fair enough? He's going to say yes. Boom. I'm going to go into it. If he still goes from there, no, you know what? Like I said, I already have life insurance. I'm not interested anymore. No problem. I understand that you have life insurance. John, like I said, my job is to provide you with the information that you requested. Also, John, the one thing that I will provide you at no charge, and generally speaking, there's a $159 charge for a free insurance review. But John, what I'll do for you at no charge, I'll waive the fee, is I'll stop out, I'll provide you the information that you requested. Also, if you can pull out any policies that you may currently have, I'd be more than willing to do a free review where I'll do a 5-point inspection on the policies that you currently have, John. And John, I've been doing this a long time, and what I have found is that most policies have weaknesses. Now, John, you may have a Superman policy with no weaknesses at all, but I can promise you what you want to do is you want to get a licensed professional with a trained set of eyeballs to review any policies that you have. This way I can check them out for weaknesses. And what I'll do is I'll check your policy I'll review the cash value. I'll also check your policy to see when your policy is going to end. Also, I'll check to see when your premiums are going to go up, when they're scheduled to go up, and also if your policy is convertible to a permanent policy. Now, John, I'm scheduled in your area Thursday or Friday. Generally speaking, what time of day works best for you? Okay, so that's how I would handle the. They already have life insurance. The other thing you can do with the life insurance is I can ask, well, John, I can appreciate you already have life insurance. Like I said, my job is just to get you the information that you requested. Out of curiosity, John, how long have you had that policy? Say, well, I've had this policy for 5 years. I've had it for 10 years. Oh, okay. So when you sent the card in for the information on my programs, you already had this policy in place. Is that accurate? Well, yes, it is. Well, great. Again, my company has me scheduled Thursday. I go right back to setting the appointment. Okay? The next objection that I want to cover is, can you call me back? Guys, this is, don't fall for it. I'm just telling you, that's the biggest smokescreen out there. And there's a lot of different versions of it. Hey, I'm driving. Can you call me back? I'm at work. Can you call me back? We're eating dinner. Can you call me back? I'm in the middle of something. Can you call me back? Guys, please, just don't fall for it. I'm just telling you, be a professional. Push through it. First of all, if they were busy, they shouldn't have answered their phone. Okay, that's my opinion. So if they're at work and they answer their phone, they can take 90 seconds to have a conversation with you and go ahead and book the appointment. So very rarely, if someone gives me, well, can you call me back, will I let them off the hook? So typically what I'll do is if I'm on the phone, they say, hey, I'm busy right now. Can you call me back? I can say, John, that's a possibility, but here's the situation. I'm going to be tied up as well, and it's going to be very hard to get back in touch with you. I promise you, this will only take 90 seconds. Okay? Very, very quickly. The reason why I'm calling you, it's because of the card. You would request your information. I'll make this very, very, very quick. My company has me scheduled to be in your area to get you the information you requested Thursday and Friday. Generally speaking, what time of day works best for you? So when they say, can you call me back, they're not saying that they're not interested. So I'm not going to try to handle any objections. What I'm going to try to do is very quickly I'm going to try to move in and book the appointment. And typically how I can overcome that, can you call me back? I say, John, I can't guarantee I can call you back. I promise you this will only take 90 seconds. Or it will take less than 90 seconds. And you just go right in and you book the appointment. And a lot of times you can just steamroll, right over that. Or somebody says, well, we're right in the middle of eating dinner. Can you call back in an hour? Well, come on, really? They're eating dinner, but they answered their phone? Don't buy into it. Say, John, I appreciate your eating dinner. I promise you this will take less than 90 seconds. I promise you your dinner will not get cold. Okay? Roll right into it. Let them know that you're on a limited schedule. Listen, John, my company only has me scheduled in the area for 2 days. I just need to get you on my calendar. I promise you this will take less than 90 seconds. When you do it like that, guys, you should be able to overcome that objection. When you're on the phone, don't be a pushover. Don't let clients push you around by giving you smoke screens like, hey, can you call me back? Here's another one. Can you mail me something? Okay. Very easy to overcome the can you mail me something if you have the right mindset in that. And the answer is no, we can't mail them. I don't come out and just say, no, we can't mail you something. John says, well, Joe, yeah, sounds good. Can you just mail me something? I'm going to come back and say, John, listen, I wish I could mail you something, but we already did. We actually mailed you a card that says you may now apply for new state-regulated life insurance without having to take a physical exam. Does that ring a bell? Do you remember that part, John, where it says you don't have to take a physical exam? You may now apply? Because what I'm going to do, guys, I'm going to use that as an anchor of why I have to see them. You'll see how I'll go back to it. They'll say, yes, I do recall something about not having to take a physical exam. I'll say, exactly, John. Let me explain to you exactly how this works. The reason why we're not going to send out a nurse or a doctor to draw blood or make you pee in a cup or put you on a scale, we don't do that. But John, you see, I'm a state licensed field underwriter, so it's my job to collect the health information, to do a very short health interview, and to physically inspect your health. So John, in order for me to give the information and give you the information that you want, that would be a customized program to fit your needs, I just need to see you first. Does that make sense? And guys, typically you can overcome that objection very easily if you just go back to the card and you talk about the part where there's no physical exam required, and that's why you need to go out and see them. That you need to ask them the health questions, and you need to lay a set of eyeballs on them so you can physically inspect their health. John, I just need to make sure you don't weigh 500 pounds and you're not confined to a wheelchair or something like that. That's why I'm required to come out and see you. And also you can go back to, John, that all of our programs are customized to fit your individual needs. We can't fit everybody into one box, John. That's why we use several different highly approved state-regulated companies, so we can customize a program that's going to fit your needs and, more importantly, fit your budget. And then, boom, book the appointment. The other objection that you may get on the phone, you may get someone that asks, hey, can you just give me a quote? Can you give me a quote over the phone, or can you give me a ballpark of how much this is going to cost? To handle this objection, it's very much similar to the one that we just covered, is where you can mail me something. I'm going to say, John, I wish I could give you a rate over the phone. Trust me, that would make my job so much easier. Let me explain why I can't just give you a quote over the phone. These programs are customized based on each individual and their health situation. Our company, we don't try to jam everybody in one box. As you may recall, the card that you sent back said that there's no physical exam required. Do you recall that? He's going to say yes. What that means, John, is that we're not going to send out a doctor or a nurse to do a physical. But what is required is, because I'm a state licensed field underwriter, I'm required just to meet with you for a few minutes, review the health questions with you, physically inspect your health, go over your medications. Only then, John, when I have a clear picture of your health, well, I'll be able to look on my computer, or I'll be able to look through my different companies, and I can shop around to get you the best quote. Does that make sense, John? Great. Okay, great. I'll tell you what I do. John. I'm actually scheduled in your area Thursday or Friday. I'll get you the information. I'll give you the proper quotes. I'll answer all your questions. Get out of your hair. Fair enough? Book the appointment. Okay? Easy way to overcome that. Another one which I don't get very often, especially on newer leads, is I didn't fill the card out, or I didn't mail anything back. Okay, you may get this, for example, when you have a husband and wife, and maybe the wife sent it back in, and you're talking to the husband. You always want to make sure that you're talking to the person that actually filled the card out. Take a look at the signature. But this is typically a pretty easy objection to overcome. When someone says, "Hey, I didn't fill anything out," John, I can appreciate that. I don't remember everything that I filled out as well, but what I can promise you, John, I am not a telemarketer. I don't make random phone calls to folks. I actually have a physical card here that you or your wife had mailed back in your guys' handwriting, requesting the information about state-regulated programs to cover your final expenses. John, my job is simply just to provide you with the information, go review the programs, and find out what you may qualify for. I'll tell you what I do. The company actually has me scheduled Thursday and Friday in your area. I'll stop by just for a few minutes. I'll actually show you the card that I have in my hand with that someone filled out by hand, and you can take a look at it. And then from there, you can tell me whether or not you filled it out or not, and then we can either have a discussion about it, or I'll throw it away. We'll tear it up and throw it away. How's that sound? Boom, overcome the objection. Okay. Typically, when they say they didn't fill anything out, maybe they think you're a telemarketer. Okay. And the last one is hey, I already took care of this. Maybe you're working a B lead, or maybe you're working an A- lead, or maybe it's an A lead. Here's one thing you gotta understand is that we're not the only company mailing out solicitations through the mail. There's other companies doing the same thing. So it is possible